he says. Okay, I didn't want to do this. And then I started. Alrighty. Let's jack. Let's see. Okay, several things. I didn't want to do this. That's something from a Raw Thoughts song from Chris Webby Webster. And there's a song I just discovered. It's called We Made You from... Wait a second. I'm gonna get to it. Yeah, I know it's insane. I mean, I'm recording this on the 21st of September. So you're basically watching the past. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do an insane thing now. I'm just gonna start at the beginning of the game, and I'm gonna play every level until I find the one that's gonna give me the crystal that I'm missing. Right? I'm gonna start with Turtle Woods. Because I was looking for this song. It took me hours to find it. I mean, that's what you need if you want to be oh yeah, memories of past times, right? If you want to learn spirituality, well, it's about digging. I mean, okay, not for everyone. Yeah, I really just want to play it. Okay, everybody has a different route to... It's pretty neat, huh? Damn it, I could have done it! Ha! This is pretty awesome. Right, I mean, I never played it without having to worry about anything. You know, I can just jump through it. Okay. Wow. Damn it. Okay. I so wish I could manage this, right? But it's just always exactly out of jumping distance. No matter how far I try, sweet. Okay. Thinking about what I want to... Okay, first the song. You know, it's the same I have with this level at the moment. Okay, I didn't remember anything. I also don't know why I forgot. Why I forgot what I was looking for. I'm not quite sure. My foot is hurting. If I play like this, I already know it's not in here. I already know it. It's so stupid. The question is, how could I forget? How? Right? That's really the question. How could I forget? Well, it's possible that usually I only remember hey, that was unfair. Barely scratched me. Well, there's the point of no return, right? Like, when do you know you're really married? I mean, in spiritual terms, when do you know? Well, some people think, you know, they have to be owned by the state. No, marriage is something, it's a promise you give each other. And you need nobody. You need nobody for that. You need nobody for that. Hey, you see what I mean? Questions? You need nobody for that. You just need faith in knowing, I think this is my wife, I think this is my husband, I think I want a child from this man, I think I would like to have a child with this woman. And you could even say I want a child from this woman, you know? That just depends on you. Okay, the song Chris Webby from the album Optimus Rhyme. I had all the albums I have on my phone. That's interesting. I had it on okay. I'm gonna stop talking about really dirty topics. I just want to talk about this. Yeah, I'm just gonna skip this. It says, look what's happening. No! Wow, it looks like Storm. Well, something is on its way. What the heck? It's hard to say if I've ever been here. Yes, I have. Yeah, this is not important to me. Okay, this was just for whatever. Okay, question. No. I don't know. If I don't follow my purpose, I'm lost. Well, that's a very valid point. If I don't follow my purpose, I'm really lost. Well... it's true. If I don't follow my purpose, I'm lost. My purpose at the moment is recording as much content as I can and proving to the world that you can like pre-schedule a lot of shit and talk about meaningful things while playing computer games. Without smoking cannabis, but with drinking coffee and just eating normal food. Right? But I learned from psychedelics how to do this. And once I struggled enough through my depression, I learned how to figure it out. Right, like, oh, what am I supposed to do today? Okay, do this. Okay. It makes me feel good, and somehow I learn to transform, you know, whatever I've been holding on. And, you know, when you feel like the way I'm feeling in my life, you realize, okay, there's a lot of pitfalls. Hey, I can't jump on anything anymore, right? So when you take psychedelics, you also miss out on certain things. Sweet. I don't think I ever managed that. So being sober is certainly really nice, but taking psychedelics showed me how to be, you know, how to feel better than the way I used to feel as a child when people were pushing me around and forcing me to do things that I didn't want to do anymore, right? It's like, no, actually what I want is this. Right? And once you realize, okay, that's what I want, you know, you can start going. But then you have to realize, okay, if I know what I want, you know, how can I bring this about? How can I make it a reality and do it for the rest of my life and even enjoy doing it? Okay? Because what I wanted... Let's see. Jesus, that's so weird. Look, these little critters. Okay, so just knowing what you want isn't enough. Because what I wanted was to help. To a certain degree. And I wanted to be free. I wanted to be free of people that think they can tell me what I have to do. Because to me it's a nuisance. While there are other people who need people to tell them what to do. And I just said, you know, I know what to do. Which is why I, you know, can accept money from people because I do the work that I think is best for myself and humanity at the moment. And that doesn't sound like it makes an awful lot of sense, but it does. If you understand what I'm talking about. And if you want to take the time to get where I'm talking from, like, what I'm talking about is not trivial, you know? You have to really be open about a lot of stuff. And, you know, I figured out what to eat and when to eat it. These are to most people, neglectable things, you know, they just stuff something into themselves. You know, my diet is basically fine-tuning my emotional state, working with energy. You know, I feel like this. Okay, what do I have to eat now? You know, if I feel like I'm getting stuck again, okay, I'll eat sugar. It's a psychedelic substance. Everybody's trying to forget it. Everybody eats it all the time. Everybody boosts himself with sugar all the time. And then they go around and they say, well, we've got psychedelics and they're really bad and you're not allowed to take them. But the ones you are allowed to take are sugar, which is basically heroin. And for anyone who has spent time working with these concepts of drugs, working with the concepts of drugs, you know, what kinds of drugs do? And then you come to the conclusion, well, okay, it boosts you. How do you feel like when you eat sugar? Well, you feel kind of comfortable. I've heard someone say that took heroin, but he took it as a powder, and I think he ingested it. That's the way he told me, right? And he said somebody came, gave him some powder, and he took it, and he said he felt like he was in a very comfortable bubble. Yeah, I didn't have to, right? Because there was nothing else in here. And he felt like he was in a cocoon that was super soft. Now you can understand why people are so addicted to it. But the problem is, you should know how to feel like that out of your own effort, right? I mean, if you don't know how to feel like that without the substance, you know, that's the quest. So there's no need to be addicted to heroin or cocaine or anything, because, I mean, what does cocaine make you feel like? And I've never taken it, but I have friends, one friend that took it and who explained to me he really did research. I mean, he started with it and then he documented how he felt, what he was going through. Okay, that's what he said. And I actually believe him. I just wanted to see. You know, sometimes you just want to know. And he wanted to know. Right? What is this stuff everybody's talking about? You know, everybody says it's so great. And then you try it and you feel like addicted. And then you think, wow, that was super nice. Okay, 2 lives off. Not anymore. And now my voice says, you know, this guy never lies. And that's very valid information for me, because I don't know who's lying to me and who isn't. Because I meet a lot of people who say things, but I'm not sure if they're telling the truth. Because they're always so wishy-washy about everything they say. And now what I'm eating is buckwheat with rice, like risotto kind of rice. Wow, that's a first. Jesus, never played this so fast. let's just slow down a little. But actually not, because I just want to play every level until I'm through with this session. Yeah, I don't think you could. I've started watching the OC again, by the way. I mean, it's interesting if you watch things you have watched when you were younger and now you watch it again and you just look at, okay, who am I in this? How do the characters make me feel? And how am I supposed to continue with my life now that I've watched this show again? Okay, I've only started. There should have been 3. Maybe if you're close, they don't come. Okay, there was nothing else in here. I think, you know, if I'm not gonna find it towards the end, you know, I'm just gonna screw it. Yeah. Yeah, that just might have come out wrong. But only if you hear it with my ears. Okay, air crash, yabba dabba doo. Okay, the song, We Made You. There's somebody standing in the booth, apparently with Chris Webby. That's how I interpret it. Or it's just himself, you know, several times. Right? Or it's just himself several times and he just says it. He says, I have no idea what I'm doing in this motherfucking booth here or something, right? And okay, so valid point. I get it. You know, why are some people allowed to speak about certain topics? I've already played this one. And where did that get me? I think to the Snow Biz. I'm just gonna play it through anyway, because that's part of the thing now. I just said I'm gonna play every level. Right? You know, I'm just gonna live my life apparently in the stages that it wants to be lived in. Right? Because that exists. What? Whoa! I was so focused on the life. Do you get it? You know, you should be focused on where you're jumping. Okay. Okay, and somebody said, you know, I don't know what I'm doing, and then I don't know, maybe it's both the same voice. Okay, can I still do it? Let's see. Apparently I can. And then this other voice, which is then probably Chris Webby, says, you know, let's just choose. You know, sometimes you just let nothing in here. Whoa. Says you gotta let me land, right? Let's say you take psychedelics as a couple. You take mushrooms, like, let's say you're the guy or you're the woman and you think, oh, I found someone that seems nice, and then you go and take psychedelics and you think, oh, now we're gonna be on the same level and she's gonna know what I know and he's gonna know what I know. You know, it's gonna be super nice. No. Because you are already further, which is why when you make an experience now, she or he, who hasn't done it before, is going to lag behind. Which is what you have to accept. Which is why you have to make a choice if you want to have a partner that, you know, is a bit further, or if you want to have a partner that is behind you. Because these things exist. And I always wanted a younger wife. But if it's a younger wife, and if you want to do things like Tantra together, then she has to pick up speed. Like, she has to be willing to work with you and trust you when you say, this is what we're gonna do. This is my choice, right? Where I say, that's the kind of woman I want. I don't want a woman that's constantly on my back. You know, if I say, I don't want to have sex now, we just don't have sex, and then there's not a like super aggressive discussion about it, then that's just how it is. We just don't have sex then, you know. And then you just have to pick yourself together and we continue, you know. Then we have to wait for the next opportunity, because sometimes maybe as a man, or also sometimes as a woman, you know, you just can't. Which is why I'm a fan of building it up and then, right, just find a time that suits both of you. Okay, what's the song? It's We Made You. That's all, you know, I was looking for this now for a couple of days. But I didn't want to just listen to all the songs because I was impatient, right? And now I know which song it was. And all I knew today was I was dreading that, to be honest. Or maybe there's something in here. I'm not sure if I've played that recently. Wow. Let's just have a look. As you can see me, obviously. Just check this out. Oh wow. All this stuff here. Okay? It's getting awesome. Awesome. It's basically autumn already. Okay. Chris Webby, this song, yeah? I don't know. I don't see that he does anything regarding higher wisdom. He seems to be an avatar, which you can assume you are, because you are listening to this, and I see myself as an avatar. And wait a second. I see myself as an avatar, which means if you listen to me and you feel like you understand, yeah, I already know this is a dead end. You know, you understand what I'm saying, then, and you you actually understand what I'm saying, and you are in some kind of hole, you know, just like the one me playing Crash Bandicoot fell into. So you could say you're playing a character in life, and you have to figure out which one comes the easiest to you so that you can, you know, simply be happy about playing or something. And that I find nice catch. Highly valuable, because I've been given a mission which is talk about what I feel and teach people. Wow, that just came out. No, I have a certain truth. It's not just talking about how I feel. Wow, it's not just talking about how I feel, it's teaching people how to live. That's basically what it is. Wow, there's a lot of rain. Maybe it's gonna snow soon. Could be. Okay, I'm supposed to teach people how to live. And part of living is accepting the reality that you were born into. And that's a very interesting point because I was just watching Ben-Hur. And that really stood out, that one line where Ben-Hur is going to the new district manager or whatever, which rings a bell also from some... Oh yeah, District 9. That was a terrible movie. Holy crap. What a shit movie. Like, just do a documentary about... I don't know. Just do a documentary about the slums, you know? Yeah, no, slums are getting boring. We have to make this aliens now. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, isn't this what discrimination is? Acting like the other guy is like disgusting and weird and you can't understand them and whatever they're saying is wrong? Isn't that what discrimination already is? Why do you have to make people look like aliens? I mean, at least he should have made sure to drop this message and to say, you know, this is just projection, right? That's what I feel. But he didn't, which, you know, makes him, in my book, a complete idiot. And which makes that movie a complete waste of time, because I don't think he understood anything. He just thought, oh, what kind of movie could I make now? You know? What would make me really stand out? I mean, it's like looking for masculinity in people like Jason Bourne. I mean, he's a guy that reads, you know, learns stuff by heart and stands where the script tells him to stand, which means he's just a marionette. And that's basically sums up every actor from this reality and every other reality. Yeah, I just have to check. Okay. Okay. The only thing you get here is, I think, you just go back. Because I'm not sure. I think, wow, did you see that? That was neat. Yeah, you just get the damn crystal. Okay. Okay. Yeah. You know, that's where impatience gets you. And that's just where more impatient gets you. Well, at least we're having a good time killing the planet, right? Because we've got alcohol and we've got all these drugs, right? Amazing, you know? How amazing, right? You know? Just look at where this society is getting people. If you don't understand what I mean. I mean, that's what truth is. To concern yourself. What's really happening. I mean, why do we listen to people like... I mean, okay, Jim Carrey, I would... No, he's the same, actually. But I still like him. But then you've got, you know, this like, you don't know him. You've never met him. You know, how can you say you like someone? I mean, like I said, I'm watching... The OC, and then you see the actress that plays Marissa Cooper, And because every time I watch a movie, I have to be aware of the observer. And then you realize, wait a second. Oh yeah, right. I have to check the other side. Fuck. Okay. What's the other side? You know... There's no point in demonizing actors. Because actors are just humans. Which means they're just like you and me. Which means if you watch a movie, just learn the lesson. Because, right, some people are simply good at imitating or portraying something. And what Marissa Cooper is, the actress, hey, is portraying, is probably important because, I mean, this is like a fairly genuine insight into the life of, you know, whatever high society is. Yeah, I just can't believe all these apples here. Right? And that's what I mean. I have watched this in my, what I would call my previous life, where I was uncertain, you know, what I was here to do. I was just living, observing, feeling things, you know. And after I awakened, which to me is a very specific point or a series of events that brought this about, which are specific to me, which I believe I have talked about in, to a certain degree, Transcendence of Life as We Know It. I'm just saying, because the life you knew may completely fall away. Whoosh. And suddenly you find yourself in a position where you become aware because maybe you have had a let's call it an outer body experience, which you may see, you have been introduced to the observer, which means you realize that you are some kind of human, and you see yourself from an outside perspective. You see your life's circumstances and your choices, you know, some of them, not all of them. You know, what you've been shown is just a fraction of what's going on. Hey, that's interesting. Right? So what you've been shown is just a fraction of what's going on. Yep. And that's the truth. And that's scary. Because what do you mean, just a fraction? Yeah, well, just a fraction. Just a fraction, my friend. Okay, what happened to me in my life? You know, at the end of my stay in South Africa, I smoked a doobie with someone that I remember he used this kind of mint tobacco. And then cannabis, obviously. Yeah, there's nothing here. That was the crystal. And there is... I just have to check. Okay, nothing. Well, not like I didn't know that. Okay, and he asked me a very simple question after 1.5 years, not in total, but a total of 1.5 years or 18 months or something or whatever that I spent in South Africa. And he asked me the question, do you believe the earth is round or flat? And nobody had asked me that until that point. People just acted like, well, it's round because somebody once said so. and then he explained to me why he believes that the Earth is flat. And for whatever reason, it completely blew my mind. And I would call this the bursting of my bubble. And then 1 year, make it 2 maybe, no, 1 year. I think it was 1 year later. I just met, yeah, let's just call him like a spiritual, yeah, parent. You know, you awaken and then you find a teacher, and this teacher is gonna teach you certain things. It can be somebody, yeah, just like me maybe, who does stuff through the internet, or maybe someone you just meet randomly. And that's then what they say, I think, is an upaguru, which is teachings you receive through life. And that's what I have been working with mostly. And that's probably... I don't want to do this again. Fuck it. You know, what's happening to most of us? That most of the teachings, you know, life is still your teacher. Even if you want to... What? Yeah, it just got the light. That's crazy. You know, even if you renounce it, well, what could life teach me? Well, everything. You know, to me, there are no real gurus. I mean, if life can teach me, then any person I meet can be my teacher, and then the game can be my teacher to a certain degree. Just like another person can only be my teacher to a certain degree. Which is why just listening to people, or to me on the internet, you know, won't really help you unless you make your own experiences and then maybe come back to what I say and, you know, think, okay, is this, you know, do I understand more of what he's saying now, or is it still gibberish, right? Because this is about adjusting to the way somebody thinks that has been trained to simply speak freely from, let's say, his heart. And I've always known how to do that. I would say I just didn't do it consciously. Or I could never do it because people always stopped me from expressing myself freely. Jesus. You're a really vicious character. I'm just saying. Whoa, whoa, jump! How did they survive? Well, at least that guy's gone. Terrible character. Okay, who's got a terrible character? Well, I know a few. There are some people who have a really terrible character. Ah, you know, that's interesting. So if you know how to play a terrible character well, but you just realize, okay, this is supposed to be my job, and I can take care of it. You know, I can be a bit of an asshole. I don't have to be super nice. My character is certainly quite light. No, I get to play computer games. But to somebody else, what I'm doing would be hell. And there's a reason I'm doing it, because I can be honest about liking it. You know, other people would hate doing this because they only do it for the money. I realize, yes, I like money, but how long have I already done this without earning anything? And then when people come to me and they say, but how much money do you earn? You know, I don't run to someone and ask for a job so that I have money because, you know, people are going to like me better. No. I just say, you know what? It's always the same. You know, people find someone that likes what he's doing, and then they ask him questions. And one of the questions is always, how much money do you make? And then you say nothing, or you keep silent, or you say, well, at the moment, I don't think I'm making any, which is for me true to a certain degree, you know. But I don't know what's happened in the last 36 or 48 hours or whatever that I actually haven't had access to internet. So I don't know, right? And that's what I always tell people. But as soon as they hear that the last status was not that much, you know, they're like, so, you know, what's so great about what you're doing? And then you say, well, I never sold myself, you know, and I'm free. Yeah, but you're not making any money. And then I say, yeah, you see, every time you meet someone that likes what he's doing, you know, you ask him what kind of money he makes, because you think the money is worth more than actually enjoying your life. Yeah, well, you need money. Yeah, but how much do you need, really? If people were to support you, for whatever reason, how much money would you need? You know, if somebody would come to you and would say, here, take 500 euros per month. You know, you will get the apartment for free. You can live for free. I just have to check this. Okay, now I will stand for a bit because my back is hurting. Okay, are we all good? Still enjoying my show? Huh? Maybe. Okay, you see, these levels are all connected to something else. Now what you can see is that they're not in consecutive order. Okay, it says 0102, and it says 14. So that I already don't understand. Or maybe that's 07, that's 14, that's 26, that's 27. Okay. So I'm just gonna go into this one, and then I'm just gonna go back to the warp room. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna play this. Okay, I played this one. Okay, road to road. I've already played this. Okay, I want to sit. I don't want to sit. I want to stand with on my 2 feet. I'm gonna make sure that I'm getting. You know, sometimes people maybe are just a little bit bored, and right now I'm working. And that's just what I have to accept, right? I can't jump every time somebody wants to spend time with me. Hey, that was handy. Well, I got the checkpoint. Okay. Okay, I just gave it out of my hands, right? I don't know what's gonna happen in my life. You know? I don't know about, you know, women. Well, do you see any? No. Well, you don't know what I'm doing in my free time, but, well, that's what I'm doing in my free time. You know? Not all the time. Like I said, I'm watching the OC, I made some food, I drank a coffee, I, you know, made this art thing. So I can't always show everything that I'm doing. bleh. But that's basically it. You know, I go outside, I slackline. You know, sometimes I injure myself, just like now. And then I do things. And after I'm done doing things, you know, I do something else. And then I sleep, and then I rest, and then I feel terrible. And then I have emotional pain, and then I get restless, and then I think what to do next. And then I start doing things again. You know, that is, in essence, my life. You know, I'm looking for messages on the inside. I constantly hear voices. I have to sort out or try to figure out what these voices are trying to tell me. And that's enough to drive me insane sometimes. And then I lay there and I try watching the OC again. And then I realize, okay, it's too much input. And then I put on music, I drink a coffee, and I start, you know, start listening to Chris Webby with my headphones. And that's it. I mean, well, does this seem like a fulfilling life? Well, to some it wouldn't. Because first of all, you also have to know what to talk about. Not everybody can do this, because some people have no awareness about their emotions. And that's the truth. Some people, you could put them in the room and they wouldn't know what to do. And I can just, you know, walk around, give a speech about anything. And these topics are also valuable to humanity. Why? Well, it's simple. First of all, it's about free speech, which I find hard to do on YouTube. I cannot speak about everything. I mean, I cannot question certain rules, you know, that have been released by the government. Okay, I have to simply suck it up. If I want to create content on YouTube, there are certain rules I have to adapt to. That's how I feel like. So I'm being pressured into silence. So if I have a certain, so I just keep it away, you know. I don't take the opposite side and say what everybody else says. You know, I just keep it to myself then. Or maybe speak about it to people. Or I could say it, but that's forbidden then, of course, right? I mean, okay, you cannot link your content to pages that break the rules, right? So let's say YouTube says, of course, I mean, you cannot post pornographic content, and that makes sense because on the porn side, it's a, you know, content creation. Okay, you could say porn is content, but that's just different, right? Because it's nudity, and you can walk around with a shirt. No, it's not the one. Jesus, I don't have to test everything 5 times. I already know it, right? There are things you already know. I don't know why everybody has to be so stupid sometimes about knowing things, right? I mean, if you slept once with someone and your heart tells you, you know, that's it, he's the one, she's the one, or you looked somebody in the eye and you just got a vision, right? You just got a vision. That's my husband, that's my wife. Then who's gonna take responsibility for this vision? I mean, that's a very important factor. Okay? Who's gonna take responsibility for it? Because how do you know who is going to be it? Well, wow, that was super nice. I jumped on it. If this would have been Mario, Super Mario, I could have like boing. Okay, I already know this is not the one. This is just gonna bring me back here because I know that this platform is gonna crash through. This has to go. Okay, my foot is hurting while standing on it. Okay. Jesus. My back is hurting. My back is hurting. My back is hurting a lot. That's just how it is. Okay, I don't have to worry about the crates. Super neat. Yeah, I've already done that. I don't know. I'm just waiting for a portal to open up to teleport me into a different part of my life where I'm less dependent on you know, where I can just, yeah, I've already done that one. I know, where I can just live, you know, where I have an income, you know, that's what I'm working for. In that sense, yeah, I'm living a bit like I'm in prison. And sometimes I feel like nobody knows that I exist. And that's a pretty hard place to be in. And so I can speak about it. Why? Because I have experiences. Oh, damn it. I have experiences. Because I didn't just live it, I actually reflected on it. How do I feel? You know, these questions are important to me. Now, what's important to me is also to say not everybody has these questions. Not everybody has these questions. Not everybody wants or likes to ask questions, and not everybody has unique ideas. Okay? You know, so however smart you think you are, because I never thought I was smart or I had anything valuable to contribute to anything. I just realized that I just seem to have unique perspectives. Because I was comparing my own perspectives and I was comparing what I was saying and what I was doing to what other people say and do. And I've been observing this for my entire life, basically. That people say things while they think and do other things. And because I can hear people's thoughts, not everyone's, there are people who know how to hide their thoughts. You know, I can compare these things and then I can look at them, and which means that every time I spend time with someone, you know, hey, you know, I collect data. I collect data on other people. What do you say? How do you behave? How do you move? You know, how does your physical posture stand in relation to, you know, how often do you touch your nose while we're talking? Because it's a sign also for maybe you're a bit dishonest, you know. I'm not entirely sure about some of these signs. Because I catch myself often you know, touching my nose while I'm talking. Or scratching myself while I'm talking. And I'm trying to figure out what that means. Is this a sign that, you know, I'm being dishonest? Or what is this? What is this really saying? Right? This is, to me, you know, what's dishonest? Maybe sometimes you just feel uncomfortable speaking the truth, or it's a sign of pride. Oh, Jesus, where does this thing touch? Right? It could be a sign of pride. When you do this, and I think this is the one. Please. Yes. Yes. Okay, 1 hour, right? My quest has come to an end. Totally fly. How could I have remembered that one? I mean, how, honestly, could I have remembered that one? It's almost impossible. Okay, now I have to get the All Crates gem. Which, of course, in such a... I didn't even remember. Okay, did I remember it? No. If I'm honest, I have to say no. But I remember the name. So... that's also sometimes how it is with people. I don't exactly remember you, because you may change. And sometimes you meet people, they change for the better. And sometimes you meet people and it looks like they changed for the worst. And then you ask yourself, what's the relevance to my own life? Am I being too cocky? Could this happen to me? And then you think, I don't think so. Because, you know, God beware, or forbid, or whatever. You know, I hope I'll never sit in a wheelchair. But I know that if I would, you know, I would get a sports wheelchair and I would train like mad until I figure out how to have, you know, at least a good time and trying to alleviate my suffering through, you know, conscious living. And Jesus. Well, seems to be around still. Yeah, you know, that's the way I live my life. You know, now I hurt my ankle, now I have to deal with it, you know. I only told my cousin. I didn't call my parents and tell them, although I could have. Jesus, how many? Yeah, once you get here, you know, you see, you don't have time because this thing leaves after a certain time. And you know, if you are there, you're gonna hit a dead end. Or you're gonna fall into an abyss. Okay? So there are certain tricks that you pick up. Okay, that's the last one. I think I have to do Cortex one more time. Okay, so now I didn't know I wanted to do this. I just realized I have to do something, and this is what came to mind. I wanted to talk. I wanted to speak freely about things. And I wanted to... I think that's going to be 99%. It's 100. Which is why I don't have to do it again. Well, I could, of course. But that means I can start with number... yeah. Okay. Wait a second. I'm just gonna tie up some loose ends. Before I finish. Okay. Let's just quickly think about this. I don't have to tie up loose ends, but this is a loose end for me. You know, if I don't finish the game till the end, then it's a loose end to me. Okay? What? Huh. That's a loose end to me personally. Wow, I have to do this? You know, my hands are here, doing nothing fishy. Right, so there's statutes, and there's something that you may call universal law. There are certain rules you have to follow once you become aware of your spiritual nature, and you meet a woman and you sleep with her. You probably, you know, you may have to take responsibility for her if she wants that. But you first have to also take responsibility for yourself. And maybe she has to learn to take responsibility for herself. Because let's say she just awoke. How are you going to take care of her, right? Unless you really want that. You know, I like to encourage people to just help themselves. So, because, you know, I'm not always there. And I can't stand around just, you know, managing everybody's emotions all the time, which is why they just have to figure it out for themselves sometimes. Just why sometimes I'm really uncertain. I mean, I was already a couple of times on the verge of telling my parents in some kind of weird, fishy way that I have an injury. And you think, do you really want to keep living like this? And the thing is, if I call now, because, you know, yeah, my mother just texted me, I'm just saying. And then you think at the age of 34, am I, you know, age is irrelevant. Because inside I'm a little child. And I feel like, you know, I have problems making this transition between feeling like a little child inside when I'm open and like, you know, clean. When I clean myself spiritually, I often feel like I'm a little child. But if I have an injury like this, or if I have to, I don't know, pay bills or be responsible about money or whatever, I have to be a bit like an adult. Which is why, you know, you have to stand with 2 feet in your life. Which is why, you know, Chris Webby is continuing to produce music, whether you like it or not. But he's doing something with his life, and he says, you know, he's earning money with it, and I can understand it because I like his music, and I listen to it a lot. Right, so, you know, if you just sleep with women without a condom, you may get some kind of sexual disease, which is of course just energy, but it can still ruin your life. Because do you know how to heal yourself? When you are being diagnosed with AIDS, you know what's killing you then? What's AIDS and what's killing you? Do you understand what I'm saying? What's AIDS? What's killing you? And can you alleviate whatever symptoms you're feeling because you may have just caught disruptive energy from someone because you connected with people that are like really confused and sick and mentally ill or whatever, or have, you know, whatever demons or bad energy or bad karma, call it however you want it, but something was making you sick. And then the question is, okay, how am I supposed to deal with this? Am I supposed to go to a doctor now? You know, let's say you start looking bad. You know, I don't know, people can jinx you. I don't know, right? So can you heal yourself? Which is why I say I just stopped having sex until I'm with a woman where I feel safe opening up to, where I feel like we're somehow on par emotionally, spiritually, energetically, where I feel like she's actually clean. You know, I actually want to kiss her. I'm not just having sex with her because, you know, I feel bad today and I just want someone to make me forget, right? She's not my morning coffee, you know, she's not, yeah, okay, she could be, you know, if that's the woman, then she will replace that for you, believe it. Because then you don't need a morning coffee, you're just gonna be like, right? And then you're just gonna be Crash Bandicoot running around, and then you wish Coco wasn't your sister. But if she wasn't, you probably wouldn't run around saving the world. You'd just stay at home and, you know, have awesome tantric sex. So you never know what's around the corner. I'm constantly living in this insane, it's probably never gonna happen anyway, expectation that at some point maybe somebody's gonna ring my bell. Or my phone is gonna like ring. And then there's someone on the other side that you can connect with in a way that, you know, is not, you know, mother, son, cousin to cousin, or brother, sister, or brother relationship. You know, maybe you're actually waiting for someone to come into your life. Because however much I'm trying to struggle against the idea of age, I always get to the point where I feel ancient and old, dying, and like I think my life is over tomorrow. And why can't there be a woman in here? Because there isn't, and now you have to deal with it. And partly it's your own fault that it's the way it is. And that's just very hard to accept. Because I don't just want to grab unconscious women that just run around, you know, not knowing what they're looking for, you know, just waiting for someone. No, I want someone, you know, where I feel, you know, I've already met her. I want her to just appear in my life and to just say, I want this, because she never did that. I try to show her that I want it, but she didn't. At least not in my book. You know, because communication is hard. You communicate different than me. We always say that, you know, you can't understand women. It's just bullshit. I can't understand men. Sometimes I don't understand myself. I understand myself, but if I talk to people, you know, all they hear is, you know, I say words, they associate the words with something that they're feeling. I say something, but what they're hearing is their own emotions. It's like, oh, he's gonna leave you anyway, you know, he's lying, right? That's insecurity. So you have to have a little faith, and you have to have a little trust. But if you've met the woman where you think, you know, I thought that's her, and you haven't seen her in more than a year, well, all that's left is thinking, well, I assume that's it then. And so sometimes I'm just laying here in my bed, or I watch something or whatever, and the only thing that's happening in myself is, fuck, I hate her. And then you think, but I thought I love her. And then I just keep, you know, I have a very weird mantra. And that's leave me the fuck alone. Or I don't care, you know. Or I don't give a fuck, you know. That's one of my most prominent mantras that I use, you know. When I hear things that I don't want to hear, you know, it's like, sometimes I hear things, it's just, she's in Oklahoma. And then you think, what are you saying? And who's saying this? Am I saying this? Or it says like, I am in Oklahoma. Oh, it's so nice here. And then you think, wait, are you really in Oklahoma? Is this just me making this up? Are we really connected? Or are you maybe, I don't know, somewhere else, totally different in Germany, sleeping with other guys, you know, just having random sex, not giving a shit about us? You know, that's the kind of two different worlds, you know. You could say then, you know, if I would go to a psychiatrist and explain this to him, he'd say, you're schizophrenic. And then I'd say, but to me it's real. Just because you're not me doesn't mean that I'm making this up. Because what are you hiding? Because you have to live under the pretense of, you know, being in charge as a psychiatrist. You know, what are you hiding? You know, just from the answers he's giving, you would realize already that he has no idea what he's talking about. If you talk to someone about your problems and he takes out, like, you know, a handbook, how to help you, he knows nothing. If somebody's interpreting the clouds and they need like a book like that lady in Avatar, you know, the series with Aang, right? The Last Airbender. I think it's season 3 with the volcano. You know, and she goes out and then she looks at the clouds, and then there's like, I don't know, a crescent moon cloud. And then what does she do? She opens a book and she has to actually look it up. She does it all the time. And she can't remember. Because what I'm talking about is intuition. You know, I'm living an intuitive life. I'm not living a numbers and words kind of life. You know, I'm writing something. It's called Roll Up. I'm not sure if that's a song. You know, I'm alone. I'm Jehovah. I'm no clone. I'm a Doberman. I bite, I strike, I jump, take flight, I cheer, I'm done, I beat Van Damme, I have no demons that are cunts. Because my demons are my friends. Right? It's like, that's what a shaman does. Everybody else is just afraid of them. Because we all have them inside of us. You know, we all have Pandora's box in here. And most people, you know, they're too weak. So they just do whatever these demons tell them to do. Instead of just saying, you know, I'm going to train my mental abilities, my will, and I'm going to figure out what I want to invest myself in. And, you know, I'm not here to invest myself into the pharmaceutical industry. Because everything you get from doctors these days is just pharmaceuticals. Which is why if I have a problem, I take care of myself, right? You know, if I have, you know, right? I have to figure out my diet. I have to figure out if I'm sitting too much, which I assure you, you are. Even if you go cycling, that's sitting. I stopped cycling, you know, I just had a feeling about cycling that it's actually bad. Because cycling is sitting. Cycling is sitting. It's better to walk or to run. And it's better to stand and to squat than to sit on a sofa. You can alternate, but I just realized that every time if I lie too much, if I lay down all the time, I just feel comfortable. It's terrible. And it's better to lie down on something hard and flat. You know, I have a kapok, which is written K-A-P-O-K. Yeah? That's a material, it's like something like cotton, and they make these kind of yoga mattresses, which is probably cotton around it. It's like this thick. It's like, okay, 5 centimeters, you know, after you've slept on it for a couple of years. You know, it's maybe like a bit less thick. But that's what I sleep on, right? I mean, you've seen it in my other things. Just look it up, man. And it's like 140 wide or 120, I don't know, and probably more, roughly 2 meters wide. Okay, you have to dust them off sometimes, but you know, that's where I sleep on. Most people would complain the whole night. I sleep on this. And it's much better. It's much better. And I still sleep on my chest sometimes. And I'm just trying to lead a balanced life. Today I did a lot of cleaning. I did my dishes. I realized I couldn't do my laundry because there's something like coming loose. Okay, are there any loose ends in this recording? Yes, talk about something else again. No, it's enough. Don't you get it? How long am I supposed to stand here and talk so that you can have a good time? Right? I also want to do other things. Do you get it? I also want to do other things, which is why I'm recording this now for the end of March. You see? I don't like it this much. I'm just doing it because that's what I can do, because I just want to give you me. But there's a certain limit to which I can sacrifice myself because I want to have a different life. I want to have family, children, my wife with me who I think I've met, right? Delusion or not, I can feel her inside me. But I still don't know what that means. Could be anyone, I think sometimes. Could be anyone. But any woman I see, you know, I project this one I met after my spiritual awakening and that, you know, I connected with, like merged into each other. But I can't get rid of her. She's just there always. And when I sit there and I say, I don't give a shit, I don't give a shit, you know, I'm just like, I'm just pretending I'm not hearing it. Because I don't know what this means. And, you know, I don't even want to meet her. You know, that's a part of me that's really honest. I don't want to meet her ever again. Because I don't have time for this kind of shit. You know, I'm working because I want to do something. I'm not here to be just friends. You know, I'm not here to listen to all your stories. I'm here to do something. You know, I'm already talking a lot to the camera. You know, I'm already doing that. So I also need a woman that can just sit there and do whatever she wants while I'm doing this kind of stuff. And for how long am I going to do this? You know, I don't know. I'm just trying to play chess with my life. I'm gonna make this move, where is it gonna get me? Am I gonna make this move, where's that gonna get me? I have an injury. What happens if I call first? You know, if I call my parents and tell them, oh, I have an injury. You know, it's a different story than if they contact me first and then I tell them. Because then they were the ones that reached out to me and then they get information. But if it's different, you know, if I reach out first, then I'm the needy little son. But I know if I talk to my mother, she's gonna wiggle it out of me anyway. And then I'm just gonna tell her. Because she probably feels something is up, or, you know, I don't know, you know, it's still a mother. And sometimes it's weird because who I think, or feel, or believe is my wife, and beliefs are very hard to get rid of. You know, that's why I say, if, you know, until something else would come and convince me that I was wrong, or my life would show me that I was wrong and I was just deluded, you know, until that point, she might very well be it. And sometimes you think, well, she reminds me of my mother a little, which is a bit weird. I mean, it's just a bit weird. But she just reminds me to a certain point. Like, physical features are completely different. But there is something about spiritual twins also. I've heard people call it a twin flame, which means, you know, it's gonna burn really hot. Okay, that's it. You know, that's the end of this game. Probably for now. I'm just saying, 100%. Amazing. You know, what an accomplishment. You know, how far can you hike? How long can you hold your breath underwater without drowning, right? How far can you swim? How long can you go, I don't know, without food? How long can you fast for? It's not about how long, it's just, have you ever fasted? Is that a skill you have in your life? Do you like it? Yeah, that's like Adolf Linkler in Rick and Morty. Do you like it? Cheers. Enjoy. Actually, I ate a lot of food and I drank coffee an hour before just to prepare me to do such a long recording. And that's it. Cheers.